We're going to look at creating a balance sheet, and part of a balance sheet is just showing what interest is earned each time that it is calculated, how that affects the total balance and total interest earned, all of those things. We're going to model our balance sheet after the one that is in your textbook. So our titles across the top of our balance sheet, and I'm using Excel, so I just go in here, click on here, and I'm able to type. So we have the period, and use my tab button to move over. We have the payment, the interest, and the balance. And we're going to work on the problem that's listed here. So if $1,000 is deposited at the end of each quarter for 2 years, so we're going to have 4 periods a year for 2 years, so a total of 8 periods. Our payment, we're told, is $1,000, so I type in 1,000. And now I see that when I click on this box, there's this little corner. I can pull that corner down and it'll fill the entire row because the payment, it's an annuity, stays the same. Then I can right click on this and format my cells, and I'm going to format them to currency with 2 decimal places and click OK for that. Now, with an annuity, an ordinary annuity is always paid at the end of the period, so this at the end of the quarter. So in that first quarter, no interest is earned, and that's a special case, so I enter the 0 there. And then the balance at the end of that first quarter is just the original payment. But I am still going to put that in as a formula so that if I change my payment number and I'm showing this to a client or even playing around with my own finances, I can adjust the payment and have the entire spreadsheet update. So to type a formula, I start by typing equals. That's showing the spreadsheet that it's a formula. And in this case, it equals the payment. So to have it equal the payment, I just click on that cell and you see it show up. And then I hit enter and you see that that pre-fills for me. Now I'm going to go back to my interest column, and so at the end of the second quarter, and the way that I calculate interest is over here. So interest is the decimal percent times the balance. So again, I'm going to do it as a formula, so equals, my decimal percent would be 0.0832. Now this is compounded quarterly, so I do have to divide that by 4 to get the quarterly rate. And then I want to multiply, and I'm going to use the little asterisk, this multiplication, times the balance. Well, the balance is up here in this cell, so I'm going to click on this cell to be able to multiply that. And I hit enter, and I see the interest calculation. Now I'm going to click back on that cell again. I see the little box there. I'm going to get that little box with the plus sign and drag it down. This time, instead of dragging the number down, because it was a formula, I'm actually dragging the formula down, and that formula updates, so it moves down every line. I don't have to adjust it at all. You see the zeros here because I don't have any balances filled in. So next I'm going to fill in my balances. Again, I'm going to use a formula, so I start with typing equals. My balance formula is the payment, so I click on that, plus the interest, so I click on that, plus the old balance, so I click on that. So I have all of those in, I hit enter, and the spreadsheet adds those up for me. I'm going to go back there where I type my formula, use the little box to drag it the whole way down through. Now it's nice to give our customers some totals or to figure out some totals for ourselves, so totals. And I'd like to know the total amount that I paid in. So I'm going to use a spreadsheet formula for the total, and it's the sum formula. So I type equals, and I type the word sum, and I start with the parenthesis. So I click on the first cell, and then I'm going to use a colon, and you see that it pre-fills the second cell. So I'm just going to go and click on the cell that I'd like that to be. And so it's going to add up that entire column. And to finish that off, I end my parenthesis and hit enter, and it adds up the entire column. I'd also like to know the total interest earned. So I'm going to use the same formula again. So equals sum start my parenthesis, click on the first cell, use a colon, click on the second cell that I'd like, end my parenthesis, and hit enter. And so here you have a balance sheet, and just as the problem asks, it shows the interest earned each quarter, it shows the balance at the end of the quarter, it shows the total of the payments, it shows the total of the interest earned. And this is a really nice piece for looking at your own personal finances or for sharing with a customer.